and character creation episode of Wasteland 2. Now, I did pre-create some people based on bios that friends gave me. I didn't really tell them what it was for, so hopefully they like what I've done here. So, we're going to be playing on regular difficulty. This is a mostly blind Let's Play. I have played an hour or two of this game before, but from what I understand, there's a choice you can make fairly early on that means that my content is going to diverge from the content I remember. So aside from literally like the tutorial building that we start in, I'm not really going to know what's coming. We're going to go to the new game screen here. Love this little animated thing. And we are going to create a custom squad. I'm going to bring in our custom rangers here. We have... Wait until I find him. Henry here. We are going to bring him in. I'm going to show you all of these once we get started. We also have, once we find him, Trevor down here. We are going to bring in Jack. And the final ranger that we're bringing in is Strife. So we're going to go over these one by one, show you what we've made from these guys. So Henry here is, as you can see, he's kind of the party face. I think he also has a little bit of tinkering with his weaponsmithing there, a little bit of handguns, some leadership, and some kiss ass. Now he's starting off with 2 in handguns and weaponsmithing. They're probably going to stay about there, while his leadership and kiss ass are going to go through the roof. We're going to read you his bio here quickly. Raised by travelling snake oil salesman, Henry was quick to pick up his family's trade. A silver tongue and a quick draw carried him and his through no small number of dire situations. While passing through a podunk town, running their usual racket, Henry arrived in town a few days after his parents, as per the plan. An unrelated bystander held more sway over the crowds after all. It was pretty clear things had gone sideways, however, as Henry's folks were nowhere to be found. They split a scant few miles outside of town, but the townsfolk seemed to be honest with their lack of knowledge. Unable to run the rackets on his own, and fearing it was revenge that had claimed his family, Henry sought protection with the shiny badge of the Desert Rangers. So, a brief overview of Henry, if you didn't gather what it was from there. A former con man. His family just went missing. Doesn't really know where they are. Doesn't know who took them. Kind of thinks it might be someone they've scammed along the way. And so he has assumed the identity of this Desert Ranger to lend an air of legitimacy to himself and investigate the Wasteland. I've forgotten where this game is actually set. So investigate the Wasteland as he goes. And that's kind of what he's about. There we are. Skills, yada yada yada. So Henry has a little bit of handgun skill, not the most insane skill, really charismatic, a little bit intelligent, quite quick and aware of his surroundings, average look and coordination. Doesn't really have any knowledge skills, he doesn't have a trade. There is a reason Henry was a con man, and that's because he doesn't have any legitimate skills. Aside from weaponsmithing. Now, I'm not sure exactly how useful this is in game, we'll find out as we go. And he has a little bit of kiss ass, he is a bit of a smooth talker. Not the greatest at his job. There is a reason he was the bystander and not the main man of the cons. And he has thick-skinned. This is just going to make him... He moves a bit slower, has a bit more armor. Next up we have Trevor. Ever the butt of jokes and cruel jibes, Trevor the idiot was the laughingstock of his village. His ambition since childhood of joining the Desert Rangers had earned him the ire of the disreputable and the pity of those who doubted him. While an idiot, Trevor wasn't stupid. He knew his strengths and played to them. Hours of physical training every day. If he couldn't get in with his smarts, he'd get in with his body. And get in he did. Trevor here is just a slab of meat who will happily put himself between his friends and their enemies. He is a blunt weapon specialist, meaning he just picks up the biggest, heaviest thing he can find and hits people with it until they stop twitching. Also, a bit of a pack mule. So Trevor's skills, he has a very high strength, he's not very intelligent or charismatic, he is quite quick and aware, average look and coordination, no general skills. We may change that, I think we might give him just a little bit of outdoorsman actually. Yeah, I think we will. We'll give Trevor a bit of outdoorsman, or no, we'll see. You know, toaster repair. Toaster repair seems like the kind of worthless skill that Trevor would invest his time in. And a butt ton of blunt weapon skill. You really don't want the guy stood toe to toe with an enemy to miss when they swing. And his quirk is heavy-handed, which is just 15% base damage on all of his melee, but a 50% decrease in his critical chance. I think that's fine. He's not exactly using his dexterity here. Trevor is just swinging for the fences. And yes, these are legit the names these people came up with when I asked them for names of characters. Now, Jack here. Jack, until recently, enjoyed the life of a man who was vital to his town's existence. Doctors were rare, and good doctors were all but unheard of. After the oasis Jack's town was springing up around dried up, he took his skills on the road, eventually finding his way to the ranger territory, mostly by accident. Seeing a place that could put his skills to use for a greater good, Jack signed up for ranger training. Jack's a bit of an oddball. I don't know that he had any official training as a doctor. I think he just took to it. He likes, Jack likes short skirts and high boots. He doesn't believe in sun lotion or coats. And he is the doctor of the group. Ironically, smokes. Not the most sensible move for a doctor, but I think if you live long enough for cigarettes to kill you in this world, you've probably done something right, not wrong. So his skills. He is very intelligent and coordinated. Jack was a doctor and a surgeon, so those two things are very useful. He's not the strongest. I don't think he ever really had a need to be. Not all that charismatic either. Average speed, awareness, and luck. So he's very focused on what he does. This guy's kind of going to be our skill monkey. He has some points in surgeon and field medic. A couple of points in shotguns because, I feel like he is just going to be up close a lot of the time. And that's just going to be his weapon of choice. Our general skills over here, he has none. He lived a life of relative comfort until recently. That was provided to him by the fact of doctors are very rare. His quirk, he doesn't have one. He's just, I didn't really find a quirk that fit Jack as per the description I was given by the person who made him. Next up we have Strife. Possibly the unluckiest man to walk the face of the planet Earth. Strife earned his name because of the sheer, improbable amount of bad luck he seems to draw. Whether cursed by a gypsy or born under a particularly uncaring star, Strife has had it rough. As a product of his life, he's learned to roll with the punches. A jolly laugh and a mean trigger finger have served him well enough to fend off the bad luck. Strife is young at 18. He doesn't smoke. He's American. No religion. Even his coat is unlucky. Strife is extremely quick because, he tends to have to run away a lot from misunderstandings, as you see. He has 1 point in luck. He really isn't all that great. 5 in coordination, average intelligence and charisma, strength and awareness too. His combat skills are, he has assault rifle skill, knowledge skills, a little bit of alarm disarming and a little bit of lockpicking. He may have had to, release himself from cages once or twice for no particular fault of his own. And no general skills either. We are a quite combat-heavy party, I think, because, from what I understand, combat in this game is very brutal. From what I remember, it's quite unforgiving. And we have the unlucky quirk, which I think just suits him quite well. And if I'm reading this right, Thunder will literally randomly strike somebody from our party while we're in combat. So that's our party. That's our squad that we're going to be taking through this game. I hope you'll be joining me for this. We'll probably go through the opening cinematic here so you can see. We're going to be on seasoned. I have played a little bit of a CRPG, so a few of them before, Baldur's Gate and the like. I've Dragon Age Origins. I played a little bit of Pillars of Eternity, but I never got around to beating that. That was a big game. How cool are these guys? So, Wasteland, for those of you who don't know, is a CRPG, which is a character RPG. They tend to be top-down isometric, but they don't have to be. Mostly character-driven. This one is team-based. We start with a squad of 4, but we can recruit other people, from my understanding of the game. Apparently some are permanent and some aren't. We're going to let this play here.
What comes after the end? I don't know. Neither did they. They were just an Army engineer battalion, constructing roads and bridges deep in the middle of the Arizona nowhere. They didn't know why Armageddon had come. They'd heard radio chatter about an attack on some space-based missile platform. But who had attacked it, or why? No one knew. What they did know is that the politicians and the generals had finally ended the world. Now, everything was gone. They took over a federal prison for a fort, kicked out the convicts, got busy starting from scratch. Maybe it was an act of mercy. Maybe they figured that the prisoners would die out in the harsh new world. Whichever, it came back to bite the engineers in the ass. Cultists, criminals, cannibals. They've been living with the fallout ever since. Good people had survived too, called for help in the night. And those engineers, those common soldiers, could not stand by and see them die. So they came out of their fort, and they helped the survivors defend their homes. And for that, they earned a new name, a proud name, the Desert Rangers. Now, Rangers, I know at times it seems our cause is hopeless. And I know it's hard to say goodbye to a brother in arms. But I want you to know something else. That no Ranger who dies in the line of duty will ever be forgotten. Nor will he have ever died in vain or unavenged.
That's our intro to the game. I think it explained quite a bit.
Thank you, recruits.
This is our squad here. That's the squad that was the default. A stiff, bearded older man wearing a hard-worn Ranger uniform and a battered old cowboy hat. General Vargas walks with a cane, but he's not helpless. He wears a pearl-handled revolver on his hip, and there are a lot of notches on the barrel.
Ace had been trying to locate a faint radio signal, which has lately been giving us cause for concern. We gave him 3 repeater units and sent him to hook them up to 3 remote radio towers. This would have allowed us to get a fix on the signal. But sadly, Ace was murdered by unknown assailants right after hooking up the first tower, and his logbook and the last 2 repeater units were stolen.
Okay. Happy to be given the opportunity, sir. But are you sure we're ready?
Yeah, I know. You've hardly found your feet with us, and here I am sending you on a mission that already got 1 Ranger killed. Well, I wish I had another option, but the Desert Rangers are spread a little thin right now. Ranger teams Abel and Charlie are out west trying to stop a range war out there from becoming straight-up genocide. And Team Baker is up north looking for a way through the radiation that's cut us off from Vegas. I'm afraid the next generation is going to have to lead the charge on this one.
Is this signal a threat, sir?
The voice on those broadcasts disturbed me greatly. It talked crazy talk about a future where man and machine would be one. Worse, it talked about us, the Desert Rangers, specifically. It said it was coming for us.
Oh, so we're being called out over the radio. That's fantastic. Now, what about these repeater units, sir?
When you get back to the Citadel, talk to our radio expert, Wade Woodson, if you want to know more about the technical details. All I know is the repeaters will upgrade the towers and allow us to zero in on the mystery signal.
And where exactly Oh, these radio towers.
I'll give you the locations of the towers once you have the repeaters in hand. More important to find them first.
Makes some kind of sense, I guess. And, what about this logbook?
Don't know, but it wasn't on Ace's person when he was found. Look for it. It might have some clues as to his death.
Well, alright then. And I guess that's the mission, sir?
The mission is this. Search the area where Ace's body was found, and do your best to recover his logbook and the repeater units. Then call in your report. If you find the repeaters, I may send you on to finish his mission. Ace's death must be avenged, and it will be. But finding the signal he died trying to track down is just as important. Besides, I got the sneaking suspicion that when you find the one, you'll find the other.
And where are we going?
It's about a day's walk east from here. I'll mark it on your map.
Alright then.
There you go.
And what do you mean by call in, sir?
Yes, call in on your radio. Your radio is your lifeline to Ranger Citadel. We'll be calling you with alerts and updates on your current missions, and sending you new missions when we receive distress calls. As Rangers, it is your sworn duty to respond to those calls. That is the contract we made with the people of Arizona when we opened for business.
Yeah, when can we get into the Citadel, sir? You've kept us locked out so
Once
far.
you prove yourself, the Citadel will be your new home. Consider this mission the final test of your training. If you succeed, you are welcome within our walls. If you fail, then you aren't cut out to be a Desert Ranger, and we won't let you in.
I think we're going to try for kiss ass here. This is what Henry does. He is charismatic. Please, sir, if you're sending us after Ace's killer, then you've already decided we're worthy. Why not just let us in?
Kissing ass already, huh?
Guess that didn't work.
Well, some folks in the Waste can be persuaded that way, but not everyone. I've been buttered up by the best of them, so I'm wise to those tricks. You get through our doors with deeds, not words, recruits. Good try, though.
Okay, worth a try. Well, thanks, sir. We'll do our best.
Good luck out there, recruits.
Alright then. So, Bert, this looks like some junk you can carry. Now, out of character knowledge, I do know that we can find a few things around the Citadel. We're obviously not going to disturb any of the graves. That's downright disrespectful, and there are several people with guns here to stop us. Now, you'll notice we have been given some equipment by the game related to our skills. So, Henry here, the quick draw pistolier, has been given a handgun. These are obviously the basic ones. It's a .38 caliber handgun, not the best thing we're ever going to see. Trevor over here has been given a bat with a bunch of barbed wire wrapped around it. Quite a lot of damage. Can attack diagonally. His secondary is a fist. I don't believe we have a secondary on this guy. See, Trenry, yeah. Trevor has a lot of health at 50. Henry's at 32. And the damage on his pistol is 5 to 8. We have 8 to 15 there. So, yeah, Trevor packs a wallop with this thing. He is not to be messed around with. Over here we have Jack, again at 32. Jack has a pump-action shotgun here. He has 11 shells for that. 9 to 14 damage, that's pretty good. Yep, we just have regular clothes and packs. I don't believe these actually do anything. At least not for now. I think we can get armor for these slots later. And other good stuff. And then finally we have Strife. Strife has 35 health. He has what looks like an M1 semi-automatic 5.56 rifle, 7 to 12 damage. He has a decent hit chance. He does have a 2% chance to jam. I expect we'll be seeing that every so often from Strife. He does have terrible, terrible luck. 9 AP there. 9 again there. 7 there. 6 there. So AP, for those of you who've never played a CRPG before, is action points. That is how much they can do in combat. The reason Henry doesn't have too many, and I'm not too concerned about that, is pistols traditionally take a lot less AP to use. 2.2 per damage, 2.2 damage per AP. 2.9 there. 2.3 there. 2.4 there. So we're all hanging around roughly the same. We have some low dosage painkillers. Looks like Jack here has his coffin nails. He also has his painkillers, but he also has some med packs and trauma kits. He is our only first aider, so we are going to have to keep him safe. Then, some more coffin nails here on Trevor. He also smokes the same brand. Some low dosage painkillers. And the shovel we just picked up. Now, we're going to have everyone head over there. I think we're going to end the prelude here. This is basically the view we're going to have over the map. I don't believe we can get into any kind of combat in Ranger Citadel. These are the four, I don't think I'd use the word heroes. These are our 4 desert rangers. We'll see how they fare out in the wastes. I'll see you next time.